So this person who doesn't even have a username says, debate me, you're the easiest win. And you know me, I love a good challenge. So he added me on Discord, and now we're going to call him up. And we'll see if he answers. Hello?
Hello.
Hello. Hold on, let me make sure my stream can hear you as well. Can you say testing, 1, 2, 3 for me?
I don't like to do what people tell me to, but testing, 1, 2, trace.
All right, cool. So you sound good. You sound good. You commented on my thing. You said this was going to be the easiest win ever. From that, I'm going to go ahead and assume that you are not in favor of the COVID vaccines, in which I am. So hit me up with your argument. I'm ready to get crushed.
Well, I mean, so there's let me backtrack real quick because you say easiest win. I mean, who's the judge? How are the points scored? It's hard to say. So
I feel like we'll be able to generally determine. I mean, I've lost debates before, and then there's usually like a solid consensus that comes in that says I lost. So I don't know. But either way, it doesn't really matter. So go ahead. Let's talk about why you're against the vaccine.
Well, there's a couple different aspects to approach it. So we could debate on if you believe it's safe, or we could debate about if you believe people should be forced to take it.
Well, if whether or not you believe people should be forced to take it kind of comes back to whether or not you believe it's safe or not, right?
No, it doesn't actually.
Like, for example, like kids are forced to take vaccines to go to public school. But we don't really care or question it because we generally recognize those vaccines as being safe, right? So it kind of is one and the same. Truthfully, well, I'm happy to talk with you. It's kind of I feel like this might be similar to the conversation that I had with the other guy where we commented on. We're going to have to, before we talk about the mandate stuff, first recognize that the vaccine is safe and effective.
Well, just real quick, because you're going over, things assuming it's true. I do care and I do question vaccination mandates from, previously approved and long used things, not based on their safety, but again, based on the individual's choice. If we're going to say we live in a country of freedom, then every interaction should be voluntary.
So do you recognize that's not true at all? There's a multitude of involuntary actions we all must take in order to participate in society. So for example, you have bodily autonomy. You have bodily autonomy, right? But that bodily autonomy does not give you the right to drink and then drive because it puts other people at risk. So we can talk about that if you want, but again, it's going to come back to whether or not other people are at risk. And if you want to talk about like the rights and whatnot, the state has a right to mandate vaccines and mandate masks. Again, because it is safe and because it is in the interest of public health, it's able to be mandated on a state-by-state basis. So it kind of does come back again to thinking the fucking vaccine isn't safe, right?
No, again, it's choice. So I'm not forced to eat McDonald's, but I'm not going to debate if McDonald's is safe or not.
Well, you're forced to wear clothes every time you step outside your house.
Not in all places.
In most places you are. There's
right down the street, there's a nudist place.
Okay, but generally speaking, public displays of indecency are against the law. So you are forced against your will in most cases to put on clothes before walking outside.
Yeah, but again, you're saying what is, right? And I'm saying what should be. So when you say right,
but you're saying that people should have the right, and people to live in a free society means everything we do should be completely voluntary, when at the end of the day, that's just not how any society works, because it would collapse. It wouldn't function. So I'm pointing you to an example where we already give up our rights and give up our bodily autonomy because the state forces us to against our will in most cases. But you don't seem to have a problem with that. So it seems to, once again, go back to you having an issue with the vaccine specifically. And my guess is you don't think it's safe.
So your clothes analogy is pretty good. Let's riff off of that. So again, I believe all interaction should be voluntary, because who wants to be forced to do something? Slavery wasn't very effective. What's more effective? The machines we built to pick the cotton, as opposed to forcing people to do it.
How do you feel about like people that have to do?
It was a lot. Hold on. I'm sorry.
Go
because
ahead.
what I've seen in some of your debates, and is that you interrupt, and you often result to name calling. And I've seen the other person do it too. I'm not saying specifically you, but I would like if we didn't do that. I'll start talking when you stop, and vice versa, if you don't mind.
Sure, just go ahead and make your point.
So the analogy of clothes, you walk into a store. What do you see? No shirt, no service. Okay, so right there is an agreement. I will allow you to come into my store and shop if you will follow my rules, right? So
Just
I
like a
put the
rule to be
shirt on if
vaccinated.
I want to go. So that's voluntary. That's not forcing anybody to do anything. That's a voluntary agreement.
But
It may not be written out,
wait,
but it's
okay, I'm sorry
voluntary.
to interrupt, but then this is
Sure,
exactly
sure.
comparable to the vaccine because private businesses are saying, hey, in order to come into our business, you must be vaccinated. So yeah, in that case, then it's not being forced, right?
Well, so every business that doesn't want to do that is not allowed to make that choice because of the mandate, the vaccination mandate by
I'm
Biden.
pretty sure the vaccination mandate makes it so that businesses have to force their employees to get vaccinated. I don't think it mandates businesses enforce like vaccine passports. That's more on a state by state
I,
basis
I
and on a business by business basis.
I didn't say passport. I just said the fact of I will take your livelihood if you don't inject yourself with this.
But you already consent to this. Like, if we're going to go back to, well, you say that you agree. When you agree to get a job, right, you also
Mhm.
comply with those workplace safety standards, which can include attending seminars talking about sexual harassment. You could get fired for not going to a seminar. It's bodily autonomy. It's your right. Why do you have to put your body in this seat for a set amount of time because your fucking employer says so? And if you don't do it, you're going to lose your livelihood? Like, you could do this for anything, but again, you consent when getting a job to workplace safety standards, and that oftentimes includes public health, or I'm sorry, not public health, the health of the employees. And so with that comes vaccination mandates.
So, I mean, you're right. When you get hired with a place, they give you a big packet. Usually, it's digital now that says the agreement. To work here. Here's the agreement. First off, it doesn't say in there that any future medical procedure you're forced to undergo or will fire you. But the point I'm getting at is there are companies that do not want to do this, especially because they're losing their best employees. But it doesn't matter because the arm of the government is forcing them to, or
So
what?
this isn't
Or what?
actually
There's a fine. There's a
necessarily
fine.
accurate considering the fact that the mandate also gives businesses the option to do regular COVID tests instead.
They don't actually, because I work for one and I'm about to get terminated.
Oh, so
There's
you're
no
refusing.
option to
So
take
you're in
tests.
this situation where you're refusing to get vaccinated. So that's fine then. This would go right back to the original talking point again, which is, well, why are these people so resistant to getting vaccinated? Oftentimes, you have to be vaccinated. Like I kind of defer to the public school thing because it's a good example of another instance where the state mandates for you to attend this institution, you must be vaccinated. So when it comes to public schools, when it comes to businesses and employers, the precedent is all there. So I don't really see much of an issue with it because this is within the business's right. And also, if we want to talk about restricting freedoms and whatnot, we also have to recognize negative freedoms as well, which is in the case of an employee and an employer's, the other employees have a right to not get sick from you. Do you understand? So it would kind
Yeah,
of once again go back to, why don't you want to just take the fucking vaccine? Is it really worth losing your job over it?
but I said this twice already. The company does not want to do that, but they're being forced to by the government, and we're all working virtual. We've been working virtual 100% for almost 2 years now.
So you're going to be fired from a 100% virtual job because you're not getting vaccinated.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Biden.
Do you ever have to go into the office? Do you ever have to
Nope.
interact with people?
Not non-electronic.
Is the business designated as a virtual business?
It was not originally, but it transitioned due
Right.
to
So the reason you still have to get vaccinated in that case is because since it's not actually a virtual business from the start, there's a high likelihood that there will come a time where you're going to have to go back into work or interact with people face to face. So
well
I
again
will
though.
acknowledge that that sounds a little bit ridiculous. That I would say that probably sounds a little bit strict in my opinion. But again, there still seems to be a reasonable and logical explanation for why that mandate exists there. And not to mention, thanks to the mandate, we've also seen a large percentage of people getting vaccinated now. We're seeing vaccination rates go up. So again, I want to talk to you about, why are you so scared to get the vaccine? What's wrong? Go take it. It's not that bad.
Yeah, when you literally threaten to take away someone's income, their house to pay their mortgage, their insurance, the way they get medicine and food, yeah, you're probably going to see
this
the
is if you lose your job. Yes,
up.
your job tied to your employment is really shitty, but you're you're saying this to try to make it sound big and scary, but at the same time, I could just as easily say, well, I didn't want to go to the sexual harassment seminar, and now because of that, they're going to take my livelihood, my mortgage, my insurance. Like, we can do this for any time you get fired. The choice of the truth of the matter is, you have a choice. You can give up your job, or you can go take a safe and effective vaccine that's free.
Yeah, but you said, thanks to the mandate, a lot of people are getting vaccinated. That's like saying, thanks to Hitler, a lot of Jews are voluntarily going into the concentration camps, right? So I would assume that you think this is voluntary too, that I have a choice, right? You would assume
you
so?
kind of have a choice. You could give up your job, so but at the same time, even if we want to talk about actual just forced inoculations, there's precedent for this too. Now, I wouldn't be in favor of that. I think that would be really extreme. But like, if we want to defer to our founding fathers, like, even George Washington was in support of forced inoculation against the will of parents if they didn't want their kids to be vaccinated in some instances. So like, we could go back throughout history and see that, like, in the interest of public health, the state has a lot of rights there, actually, constitutional rights. There's even constitutional amendments giving the state the rights to enact vaccine mandates by using their police powers. That is within their constitutional rights. So, like, the whether or not it's a right, whether or not you're coerced, I feel like we can make this argument for so many other things, just like clothes, just like going to a sexual harassment thing. At the end of the day, this is in the interest of public health for everyone, so it's on you to give a reason why you should be exempt. Why are you special enough to be exempt from this mandate when everyone else, not everyone else, unfortunately, but many other people are just fine going and getting this? And there are some people, by the way, dying for the vaccine. So, could you explain to me, why are you so scared to get it?
Yeah, see, that's what Hitler said. Public health. He called the Jews lice on the country. You know that? Just because you say the word public health doesn't mean you could force people to
Is this your easiest win right here? Just everything compared to Hitler? So you realize there's a difference between blaming an ethnic group
well, I could go to
as...
Stalin if
Hold
you
on.
want.
You realize that there's a difference between claiming an ethnic group? We need to get rid of an ethnic group in the interest of public safety. Do you think that there's a difference there between that and, hey, everyone should get vaccinated in the interest of public safety?
It's a political ideology.
What is?
What they're fighting against. You're saying, race, or what are you saying? Ethnicity. It doesn't matter. It's a political ideology, which is the war right now. There's people of all colors who disagree with this. Black Lives Matter just protested against the
I don't care. Then they're being dumb too.
Don't.
I would argue with them too. Like, give me a reason why you're special enough to be exempt. You haven't even given me one. We've been talking for 13 minutes now. All you've been saying is mo rights, even though you're fine giving up mo rights in places where you, like, have to put on a shirt and have to get vaccinated to go to school and whatnot. So, like,
that's not giving up my rights, because, like I said, I don't have to go into a store that mandates a shirt if I don't want to wear a shirt. It's a voluntary agreement I'm either agreeing to or not agreeing to. But for you to take away my livelihood, literally everything in my life, and if I could quote Dave Chappelle from his last special, which is banging, by the way, to take a man's livelihood is akin to killing him. So, of course, you think there's a choice, but if I could go back to that, if
there is, you can either lose your, here's your choice right here. You're at a crossroads, my friend, okay? You can either, one, get a safe and effective vaccine, or two, lose your job. And if we want to also go back to the, well, I'm forced to take this vaccine, then again, I would defer you to the example I already gave of going to a sexual harassment seminar. The office has...
Sitting through a seminar is not the same as injecting yourself with I don't even want to...
here we go. We almost heard why you actually are scared of the vaccine now. You almost let it out. Are you scared to get into this aspect of the conversation?
So we have two non-medical experts debating the safety of a vaccine. That's probably not a good idea. What
Dude,
we
is
can't
this really
say,
your easiest win right here? Are you having your easiest win yet?
well, it is because you're interrupting me constantly.
Because you're not
And
saying anything. I've asked you now for
if
15
I
minutes. I've
wasn't
been
saying
begging you
anything,
on
how
my
could you
knees to give me a
interrupt? If
fucking
I
reason
wasn't
why you don't
saying
want to get the
anything, how
vaccine.
could you interrupt? If I wasn't saying anything, how could you interrupt?
What? I'm saying you're not saying anything of
Bam!
substance. I'm
Easy.
sorry. Yes.
Twoosh.
Yep, you got me, buddy. Easiest win ever. So why do you not want to get the vaccine? Please
If
elaborate.
I held a knife to your belly and I said, what's a horrible thing you probably wouldn't want to do? Kill this baby. Actually, you're probably fine with that. Give me all your money or I'll shove this knife into your stomach. Do you have a choice? Would you consider that a choice?
So we're back to the original coercion thing where there are some aspects of bad coercion and there are some aspects of coercion that need to
All
exist in order
coercion.
for society to function correctly, right? So
The
obviously
Nuremberg Code.
holding you to with a knife to your stomach saying you have to kill a baby, if we really want to get all like pedantic with it, that's a hell of a lot different than, hey, I'm your employer and in the interest of public safety and the safety of our employees, you need to take a safe and effective approved vaccine. And then you saying, no.
Well, you
Do
could
you think
say
that
it in
this,
that
do
tone
you
of
really feel
voice.
like Hitler right
Sound
now has a gun to
rational.
your head saying to kill all the babies or something? Like, are you kidding
It's
me
an
right now? Give me a
analogy.
reason. Give me a reason
The
why you don't want to
analogy
get this vaccine.
the analogy is something that I'm willing to lose everything I've worked for my whole life to avoid. That's the analogy. I would assume you would give up everything to avoid killing a baby. Okay, that was the analogy.
But killing a baby's bad and hurts people, whereas getting vaccinated is good and helps people. So
You
no, even on the most
so
like surface
you're gonna
level, it's not comparable.
so Thailand. What are the numbers on Thailand? Do you know how many people vaccinated? How many cases do they have?
I don't know. I'm sorry. I look at
Skyrocket.
Israel. I've looked at Singapore. I've seen
Skyrocketing. You think it actually helps you? It doesn't actually hurt your immune system in any way. Is you what you think?
what?
What about the guy who
Wait,
invented
what are you saying? You're
mRNA? I
just like
guess you call him a kook. Do you call
okay,
him a
wait,
kook?
whoa, 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 whoa. First, you're quoting Thailand. Now, I haven't seen that one
It
specifically, but I
wasn't
would
a
be willing to
quote.
bet that if we saw the skyrocketing rates, we would see a skyrocketing rate of Delta variants, but a decrease in the rates of hospitalizations.
Is there a
Because you
way
know
to
what?
tell?
Hold on, stop, because you
Okay,
just said something
sure.
really stupid, and now I need to call you out for it.
Just
So,
start name calling.
I'm not name calling. I didn't say you're stupid. I said what you said was stupid. Okay? So, second of all, we can look at places like Singapore, places like Israel, where they too have been heavily vaccinated and then had a outbreak of Delta variants. But with that outbreak, I say this all the time, the outbreak doesn't go on to become a pandemic. Thankfully, because of the vaccine, we see a significant decrease of people in the hospital and people dying from COVID-19. So, no, bad example, my friend. Now,
How do you know it's the Delta variant?
what do you mean? They can test for it, and we know that the Delta variant is currently what's spreading and is currently far more contagious.
Do they know that based on tests that actually say that, or are they just saying, well, because it's a new year and because we know viruses evolve, this must be a new virus? Can you go get tested and then they tell you you have the old COVID or you have the new COVID? Can they say
So this
that?
seems to be the move now for the anti-vaxxers in order to get their easiest debate win ever, which is just to like play 20 questions with me, and then if I don't have the exact answer straight off the top of my head, they act like it's some kind of a win. I'm not sure
But
what
you
you're really
claim
getting
to
at here, but
know.
at the end of the day,
You're
what we
claiming
can
to
look
know.
at is very easily just the simple rates of hospitalizations of people vaccinated with COVID versus people unvaccinated with COVID. The unvaccinated skyrocketing. So it kind of goes back again. I don't know how we've kind of managed to get off this tangent already, but comes back again to why do you not want to get the vaccine, my friend? You brought up
Freedom.
Robert Malone. Do we want to talk about him for some reason? I don't know. How does Robert Malone
Freedom.
change the fact that the data shows that the hospitalization rates with people with COVID are skyrocketing among the unvaccinated?
Well, see, that's the issue with the internet is I see that most deaths are of people fully vaccinated. So we're both going to have our
Well, can
own.
you send me that number, please? Because where the hell are you seeing that? Because that sounds like just a lie to me, like a blatant lie.
See, it's we. If you want me to gather medical data, again, we're not. This isn't our
You just told
profession.
me that the
But
things you're
it's
seeing show that
up to me,
the
bro.
major. Hold
Bro,
on.
you keep
You.
interrupting me though.
All right. I'm
Like
sorry.
I
Go
can't
ahead. You know
finish
what?
a
You're right.
sentence.
You're right. I did interrupt that time. Go ahead. But you
All
are
I'm saying
pivoting.
is,
Just letting you know.
all I'm saying is, An easy thing that individuals can debate is their own choice and their own freedom. So for you to have a medical debate when neither one of us are experts, I'm sure, I don't think you went to get a medical degree. I didn't, right? So you're just going to pull data off the internet, and I'm going to do that. And then
No.
what?
No,
And
we're
we're going to
not.
have contradictory viewpoints because we have different sources.
No, actually, so it's really easy. So the data that you're going to send me, if it says that the vaccine is causing more deaths or the deaths are among people that are fully vaccinated, then
Yes.
yeah, we would have to look into it and understand what is it actually saying. Does it actually, one, say that? How do they come to that conclusion? Is it correct? And one, or I'm sorry, and secondly, why do we need to listen to that over, again, the real world evidence showing that this vaccine is reducing the risk of people getting COVID, going to the hospital, and dying?
Are you scared of COVID?
I mean, not really, because I'm fully vaccinated.
I'm not scared at all, and I never even had a test.
That's great,
I'm not
buddy.
scared
So
at all.
you're not scared of COVID, but you're really scared of the vaccine? That seems a little weird.
Well, when you're injecting something directly into my blood, bypassing my immune system,
You're not
all the
bypassing your
defense
immune system. You're
mechanisms,
helping it. So this is
all the
obviously why you
you
didn't want to get
think
into this subject, because
you
you
think
knew. So first of all, what you said a minute ago was actually really, really dumb. This idea that, well, you have a study and I can find a study. No, there is medical consensus on the vaccines, my friend. That's why we know that they're safe and effective. So you can find some one-off studies, some non-peer reviewed, some preprints of this, that, and the other thing. I don't really give a fuck. It doesn't change the fact that the real world data we have and the scientific medical international consensus is that this vaccine is safe, effective, and beneficial at slowing the spread and reducing the rates of people dying in the hospital. Just look at it even here in America. You can see the rates of COVID are actually going down, partially thanks to the vaccine. So your desire there to discredit data that's inconvenient to your feelings is really, really wrong. It's unfair and it's dishonest in this discussion. I don't think you should have said that, because the data I have is from like credible sources, and whatever data you have, I'm going to guess is from like InfoWars.
I'm trying to think what news station reported those 6 deaths, the majority of which were vaccinated.
So there were 6 deaths. The majority of those 6 were vaccinated?
Well, it's just the most recent thing I've seen.
Okay, I got you, buddy. Let me guess. They were over the age of 65 and had comorbidities. And they probably died from COVID, right? Which would have been from the Delta variant, which, by the way, is spreading and is becoming more deadly. Well, not deadly, actually, but more contagious for sure, because of people like you that don't want to get the vaccine.
You keep and that's how you're gonna put us in camps. People like you, and you say, "Oh, it's not."
It's funny. You're like, I'm not scared of COVID at all. But then I say that like people like you who don't want to get the vaccine, and you're like, oh my God, you're like Hitler. You're gonna literally put me in a concentration camp. I'm not saying to do that, my friend. If any, like, what you still, by the way, 23 minutes now have not told me why you don't want to get the vaccine. Because Moritz and Robert Malone.
Here we go. One word. Here we go. You ready?
Yep.
Here's why. You ready?
I'm ready.
Freedom.
So why are you okay not? So do you like to drunk drive? Are you okay drunk driving? Question.
I let you talk. I let you just keep going off. I'm trying to like wait for you to stop, but
just
you don't.
Because everything you're saying is so fucking stupid. Please get to the point.
Oh yeah. Come on. Can you listen?
I've been listening, dude. So far, I've yet to learn a single thing. Please talk.
Well, when you're not receptive, how are you going to learn? When you're not paying attention, how are you going to learn?
Please continue, Alex Jones. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yo, what about Stefan Molyneux? You think he's a quirk too?
I'm not really interested in talking about random influencers that much. Would you like to get back to the point you're trying to make? Because you said "cuz freedom," and I have a really good question about that.
Shorts. Yeah. So, what gives you the right to force me to do that?
So
against my will.
Sure.
And you think that's good, right?
So when you say because freedom, that's your one word, I have a question for you in response to that, which is, how do you feel about people that drunk drive? Do they have the freedom to do that? It's their body that they are putting something in of their own volition, and it's their car that they control, that is their property.
Yeah, so the issue is with private property. So whoever owns
no. We're not talking about private property. We're talking about drunk drivers.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm interrupting because you're trying to pivot away, because I think you realize really quickly that this defeats your argument. So
Well, you're trying to corner me into
I'm
your
not trying to corner you. I'm trying to ask
work.
you if you're okay with drunk drivers or not. It's a pretty easy answer.
Because you're not going to be very receptive on anything. Some people are bad drivers sober. Should we outlaw them from driving?
Do people have the right and the freedom, in the name of freedom, to drive drunk? This is what I'm asking you. And if not, why?
Where, though? You have to specify.
On the road.
On the road. Guess what? I own some road on my property, and I drive on it drunk all the time, and I am allowed to. So how about that? How about that? It depends who owns the road. So you're bro. That's why.
Okay, if you're on a okay, let me change the hypothetical then for you, you Weasley little fuck. Okay, so and by the way, that was me name calling. Yes. So let's say that you drive drunk on the main highway. So do you have the right to do that in the name of my freedom?
Again, who owns the highway?
The government.
That's the problem.
Wait, but then the government has to abide by constitutional standards, which actually would make your stance stronger, right? Because that means that they have to abide by freedom primarily. So, so how are they able to do that then? Can you tell me, please? So why are they?
They do have to abide by the Constitution, right?
So why are are you okay with drunk drivers or not? Are they able to do that in the name of freedom?
Where?
On the main road, you idiot.
Okay, so you're saying on public roads.
Yes.
You have to make a distinction between public and private.
Okay, you're on a public road with lots of traffic and you're driving drunk and it's late at night. Are you allowed to do it in the name of freedom? It's your body, your choice.
I don't know why late at night matters. But again, whoever owns the property makes the rules, and if you disagree with the rules, you don't go into the property.
So that's not even true. Even with private property, laws extend to private property, right? So like I can't kill somebody on private property.
That's not right. That's what I'm saying. You're using the word right as if it's morally correct.
So see, this is the problem, is you talk a lot about freedom, but in your worldview, it would actually affect people's freedom in a negative way. So people have negative freedoms too. They have a right, for example, to not get killed by a drunk driver. They have a right to not get raped and murdered on someone else's property because it's their private property. That's where it's the what do you mean?
You're just making that up. Where's that written?
Google negative liberty, buddy. It's like a common thing where I don't know. Is this every time I bring this up, conservatives seem freaked out. Maybe I'm being too esoteric. I don't know. But
who said I'm conservative?
But but either way, people have a right, whether or not, to not get killed by a drunk driver, right? And that's where the government steps in and has to restrict certain behaviors. That's why you're not allowed to kill people. You have a freedom to kill. Shouldn't you have the freedom to kill people? It's your body, your choice. But no, you know the answer is no, and it's just like the answer is no to the drunk driving question, and it's because it hurts other people, and it puts other people at risk. And that's why you kept trying to pivot off of it, because you know it's directly parallel to the vaccines, and it actually makes your position look really, really stupid.
Well, if I could quote you, you just said something really, really stupid. Go. You just said, I could kill people because it's my body, my choice. Aren't I killing other bodies? Duh!
So is this your easiest debate ever? I'm saying that you have like so for example, if you're driving drunk, right? Like you're not necessarily going to kill somebody, but if you're driving drunk, there's a much higher likelihood that you could kill somebody. So we restrict that freedom in the name of public safety because it could harm someone else. We can do the exact same thing with vaccines.
Can I have like a minute to explain without you interrupting?
No.
So
I'll give you 30 seconds.
Whoever owns the roads defines the rules on the road. So the Autobahn has no speed limit, right? Okay. So if I owned a road and I said you are allowed to drive here drunk, then you would not get in trouble for driving there drunk. But if I said you weren't allowed to drive there drunk and then you did, you would get in trouble. And what would be the penalty? It would already be written in the contract. It would be an agreement we had ahead of time. And everybody would be voluntary in the situation. Hey, I like to drive drunk. I'm not going to go on that guy's road. He doesn't allow it.
All right, so your 30 seconds is up. Thank you for the meaningless tangent. Now that I've looked this up, it's possible to get a DUI in your own driveway. As crazy as it sounds, the answer is yes. According to 2 cases, one from 1994 and one from earlier this year, you're subjected to both criminal and administrative penalties from any incident that occurs behind a wheel. So no, you cannot drunk drive on private property. So very good analogy. It's cute. I know it's nice to be in La La Land. Either way, you came on here really aggressive. You said this was going to be your easiest debate win so far, and So far, I've heard my freedom. I should be able to drive drunk. And
no, you just keep quoting the law and saying, "Dude, it's the law.
It's the law, dude. The law should be that you get locked up in a mental. No. The law should be that you get locked up in a mental institution.
What was the law in Hitler in Germany?
The law should be that you get locked up in a mental institution. Truthfully,
and I see why you would say that, and that's why people who are pro freedom have to defend ourselves from tyrants like you.
Yep. Tyrants, I think I need to defend myself from biological weapons. Tyrants like you that are trying to murder us all with your fucking deadly virus spread.
Doesn't your vaccine work? Oh my God, doesn't it work? Doesn't your
it does, but thanks to you people, we're now seeing the Delta variant rise. But I wouldn't really expect you to understand. It's really funny you say I'm not receptive at all, but this entire time, actually, wait. Let me try to summarize one more time. Wait. One more time. Let me just try to summarize again. So we can drive drunk on your private property, which is false.
The person who owns it says so.
You are being like Hitler, and Hunter's a tyrant because he wants me to get vaccinated, even though the court precedent is there and businesses are fully within their right, and they also have a constitutional right to do it.
Morally correct. You're quoting law and saying it's morally correct, and I'm saying the analogy is Hitler's law was not morally correct, but it was law. So are you going to say he was right because it was law?
Okay, so I will argue the morality. Fine, I will argue the morality of that law in this case also. The morality of the law, as far as forcing people in some instances to get vaccinated, is there because it's in the interest of public health. The same way that you force people not the same reason. It's not about what Hitler said. It's about whether or not it's true. Cleansing the ethnic Jews did not actually do anything to benefit the public health. However, we have literal evidence and data here showing that the virus is obviously a public health matter. These are completely disanalogous. Like, do you think if you just throw the name Hitler out, you can like get a win or something?
Cleanse the unvaccinated?
Did I say any of this? Holy shit, dude. Hitler talked also. He also breathed air. And in my mind, you're just like Hitler. You're also you're really deadly too because of how terminally stupid you are with the drunk driving and with the not wanting to get vaccinated thing. Like, yeah, I think if anyone's more comparable to Hitler, it's probably actually you. If we really want to get serious.
Yeah, because I'm forcing people to do things. I'm corralling people. I'm taking their jobs. I'm gonna isolate them.
Yeah, we're just gonna kind of go back into the same thing again. That you literally have no.
So the mental asylum. You literally just said because of the words I'm saying, I should be forced to a mental asylum.
Do you think I was being hyperbolic, or do you think I'm serious? Because I was being hyperbolic. However, the more that I was being hyperbolic. However, the more you continue to ramble, the more I'm starting to feel like maybe that statement actually holds quite true. But either way, you've said nothing of substance this entire time. And again, you just go back to comparing everything to Adolf Hitler. If we want to talk about the morality again of this law, the law exists and is morally correct because, again, other people have a right not to get sick and not to get infected from highly contagious Delta variants when it's a preventable disease, and then dipshits like you are too scared to get a shot, and so they put everyone else at risk. So yeah, they have that right. That is morally right. It's funny because you talk a lot about your freedom, but you never seem to care about anyone else's, even though like a fundamental part of America is not only recognizing your own freedom, but also other people's freedom and how that interacts with your own. It seems that you're so blinded to your own freedom, you don't even realize the way that sometimes your quote unquote, my freedom can actually hurt other people. It's really quite sad.
So you say, vaccination mandate is legal. Do you know what court cases they cite to claim it's legal? They're from 1905, and they were the same court cases which allowed slavery. But I don't know if you know what happened.
It's hilarious. Did you watch BX Bullet before coming on here? Because you're
Nuremberg Code. Nuremberg Code. Okay, do you know the Nuremberg Code? Can we bring that up?
Nuremberg Code doesn't apply here. No, stop. This is why. Hold on. You get so mad because I keep interrupting you, but the reason I interrupt you is because every single thing you're saying is so fucking stupid. So the Nuremberg Code does not apply here because this vaccine is not experimental. Again,
if everything I was saying was stupid, you would let me talk and make a fool of myself. But you have to interrupt.
Oh, I've let you make a fool of yourself, my friend. Also, I thought we're talking about morality. Why? Hold on, really quick. Why are you referencing law? I thought we're talking about morality.
The only reason I said that was because you just said it is a legal law. It is a legal law, and you're not a lawyer.
Do another funny voice and make a really loud squeak noise again. It always makes you look like you're having the easiest debate win of your life.
It's not the debate which is annoying. It's the person which is annoying.
All right, so once again, it's just every single time. Part of the I interrupt because it's like I've had this conversation now 5 different times because all you people are NPCs and say the exact same thing. So Fact check. Yeah, I did interrupt, and I'd like to keep interrupting. Please shut up while I read this, and then you'll talk, okay?
For now.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and mute you. All right, muted. I'm going to read this really quickly, and then you'll be able to talk. So, fact check, COVID-19 vaccine mandates don't violate Nuremberg Code. The claim, forced vaccines are against the Nuremberg Code. Let's see what this says here. Code does not apply to COVID-19 vaccines. When government and businesses declare an individual can no longer be employed, interact economically, engage socially, travel, or conduct routine activities of daily lives unless they partake in the administration of an experimental drug trial, that is called duress, overreaching, and coercion, which is clear and blatant violation of the Nuremberg Code, the page said. This is inaccurate. The code does not apply to COVID-19 vaccines because they are not experimental. All of the COVID-19 vaccines have gone through clinical trials and emergency use authorization processes. The Nuremberg Code relates to research where the emphasis of informed consent requirements is on preventing the research participants from being used as a means to an end. So you're not being experimented on. Just wanted to address that. All right, you're now free to talk. Go for it.
Am I on?
Yeah, you're unmuted.
Okay. Yeah, so it sounds like you read somebody's opinion instead of just reading directly from the Nuremberg Code. So
I read an interpretation from USA Today because,
why would you do that, though? Why can't you just read the actual document? Here, I'll read it for you. Can I put you on mute? No, I bet not, because you're the judge and jury. Let me read this for you. Number 1 in the 10 points of the code. The voluntary consent of the human subject is absolutely essential. Without the intervention of any element of force, fraud, deceit, duress, overreaching. Do you want me to continue? Coercion. No. It must be voluntary.
So then is every time you're coerced to participate in society, again, not to drunk drive, is that a violation of the Nuremberg Code?
You keep just jumping around. This is about medical procedures.
No, you're referencing a defense for people that are not able to be experimented on without their consent. This is not an experimental drug. And what you referenced right there at the first thing that hold on, what you just wanted to read it to me, and you referenced coercion. And once again, we're back to the coercion thing. I'm not jumping around. It's just the coercion thing keeps coming up, and then it's going to keep going back to the drunk driving thing. Is, again, there are elements of coercion that need to exist for society to properly function. Like it or not, it's true. So by what you just read me, out of context, that means that it's a violation of the Nuremberg Code to force people against their will with the coercion of the state-enacted violence not to put alcohol in their body and operate their own property. By your standards. You could say that. So is it? Yeah. So is drunk driving against the Nuremberg Code? Is restricting that against the Nuremberg Code?
Saying like it or not, it's true is not an argument.
Is it against the Nuremberg Code to restrict drunk driving? Because based on what you just read me, it would apply.
That's what I'm trying to say is you keep mixing all these things up. We're talking about medical procedures. Okay, so driving is not a medical procedure.
We're not just talking about medical procedures. We're talking about experimental. We're talking about experimental and forced medical procedures.
But it doesn't say experimental in here at all.
That's what it applies to, dude. The verdict is entitled permissible medical. Hold on. The verdict is entitled permissible medical experiments. Okay, it's on experiments ultimately. That is what it talks about. It's in the ultimate context. So you have to look at the context for it. Again, what you read me would just as easily apply to the drunk driving thing, dude. I guess you say it's not a medical procedure, but then, I mean, do we want to get pedantic? Is it really a medical procedure to take a vaccine?
It's specific, not pedantic.
Okay, so you still really haven't. So the only reason you don't want to get this vaccine, so for you, it's not a concern of whether or not it's safe. It's you just don't like that they're saying you have to take it.
For sake of argument, I'll consent to that, yes.
Okay, so for sake of argument, will you consent that it's an overall safe vaccine and effective as well?
I think that would hurt my argument with freedom, though, because that would give you, people like you, the justification to force things against other people against their will.
The Nuremberg Code is about ethics of human experimentation. Yeah, that's what it's all about. Hold on. I think my daughter might be coming in here for a second. What's up, Rosie?
Damn!
So you're not going to admit it because it'll hurt your argument, but you know it's true, basically. I get that.
I'm
this
not
conversation's been such a
no,
scattered
I'm not
mess
going to
because you're
dispute.
grasping at
No,
everything, and then I have to
hold on.
look it
If
up, and
you're
then
going
you
to
say
claim
it's fake
something
news.
I say, hold on. If you're going to claim something I say, I get I get the point to disagree. So
So
that's not what I said.
would it be
I said I'm
justified
not
if the
going to
vaccine
dispute.
was effective to force it?
No, of course not. My whole argument is freedom. Of course not.
I guess this would just have to go back again to like the seatbelts come up a lot of the times too because it's like a preventative measure. Like, how do you feel about the seatbelt thing? Do you think that it's like coercion that you're forced?
I wear a seatbelt. My choice. I want to. I think
But
I've done the research.
you don't
I've
actually
done the
have a
research.
choice because if you're caught not wearing a seatbelt and driving, you could actually get like a ticket or worse, right? So, I mean, you could have like a
Well,
suspended license if it happens enough. So you don't really have a choice there. So
yeah,
you're coerced.
so you're correct. Yeah, and I disagree with coercion.
Got it.
All
Okay.
interaction should be voluntary.
So basically, you're in favor of making the world a far worse place in the name of freedom.
Well, that's what you say, but
Yeah, no,
again,
you're in
America.
favor of people driving without seatbelts, driving
Well, hold on,
drunk,
hold on,
not getting the
hold on. Freedom.
vaccine.
Hold on. Let's talk about freedom here. The freest country on the planet. I don't know if it still is, but America did what? Put a man on the moon in how long? 200 years, not even. Okay, the freest province in China, Hong Kong, has the best. Well, not anymore. Again, because of people that support tyranny, like yourself.
Oh, are you actually a tanky?
I don't know what that means.
Is that why I called you a conservative? Because you guys are similar. I don't even know. But either way, dude, have you heard about ivermectin?
Yeah.
You should consider taking it. You know, it helps a lot with brainworms. So go fuck yourself. Hope you had fun with the easiest debate ever.
I think people should have a.
Oh wait, hold on. I forgot something. Wait, sorry, I forgot to say something really quickly. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to coerce the end of this call. You don't have a choice. Bye. All right, there we go. Ugh. Jesus Christ, he was such a fucking moron.